Welcome to the Midnight Matinee with your host and hostess, Robert and Angi Curtis.
Welcome, everybody, back to the Midnight Matinee.
Yep.
We're continuing down the Conjuring verse with the, was this the second? Chronologically?
Yeah, chronologically, yes.
This is the second movie.
But our 19th movie in our 31s of demonic possession movies.
Yep, number 19. So we're working our way along.
And tonight we are going over Annabelle Creation, which is the second movie of Annabelle. Kind of, it's a prequel, obviously,
right.
How she came to be, you know. Former toy maker Sam Mullins and his wife Esther are happy to welcome a nun and 6 orphan girls into their California farmhouse. Years earlier, the couple's 7-year-old daughter, Annabelle, died in a tragic car accident. Terror soon strikes when one child sneaks into a forbidden room and finds a seemingly innocent doll that appears to have a life of its own. Scary. I don't like dolls. I really don't.
Yeah, I'm not. The dolls are creepy. I just don't. I don't like dolls.
I don't know what it is. Maybe because they're trying to make them. I don't understand why I have this weird thing about dolls.
It's the uncanny
valley thing. Yeah. And my grandmother, she like collected those porcelain dolls, and I'm just like, I don't want anything to do with them. The real Annabelle is actually a Raggedy Ann doll, which I actually have one that my mother handmade for me, and my sister both have one. That's the size of this. And I thought this was actually kind of funny because Annabelle is currently actually out of the Warrens Occult Museum.
Yeah, on tour.
On tour. Like I think she was in West Virginia's penitentiary a couple days ago. They showed last night that she's down in New Orleans, which New Orleans is full of a lot of bad juju, in my opinion.
We should take her down to Key West and let her, her and Robert the doll can have a death match.
Oh my God, could you imagine? Pow, 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 pow. But
yeah, this was
we have actually this is
one where we disagree on because I did not like this movie
and I really liked it.
Yeah,
which is weird because usually we're pretty much in tune with a lot of movies.
Yeah, I just feel like I don't know if it's a pacing issue or if it's just the way it was shot or the acting comes off as disingenuous for some reason to me, and I just don't. It seemed like it was really obvious, like you know what I mean, like you're like, oh, of course she's gonna break into the room where the doll is, you know what I mean?
I mean that's what kids do.
You go in the closet, yep, the door's gonna close behind her. You walk by the bed, there's gonna hand's gonna come out and grab your feet, you know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
And then the scare that like these movies are famous for, they have that in this too. Right, where it's like the demon is hiding in plain sight and you can't see it because it's a shadow, and then it moves and then you're like, oh, it was there the whole time, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like it's been done at this point. And like for me, as a person who does paranormal research, you know, like I know Annabelle, I know of the myth of Annabelle, and then to see this, whatever this stupid thing is that they're passing off as the Annabelle for Hollywood, it's just it's not intimidating. It's just weird and ugly looking.
It does have really big eyes.
And why not just use the Raggedy Ann doll? You know what I mean? Like it's out of copyright, so you could put it wherever you want to. Like I don't understand why. Like they were all sitting around and like, you know what would make this terrible? Let's make it some kind of weird porcelain doll that just has these creepy eyes that look broken for no reason. Like, that would be fantastic.
See, now I grew up in the Raggedy Andy and Andy era, and I remember my mother reading me the book when I couldn't have been more than 3 or 4, and I was laughing so hard that it almost... Raggedy Ann dolls are endearing to me.
Yeah.
My great-grandmother gave me one that I had. I wish I still had it. I don't know where it is. So I don't know if they would come off as scary to me. As more...
That's the whole idea. That's why it's scary. Because it's like a cute doll that's possessed by a demon and does evil things.
I think right here you need to show them side by side and be like, cute little Raggedy Andy here, Annabelle, the movie doll here.
But the Annabelle doll is creepy and weird looking. And the whole idea is that it's insidious, right? Like there's something inside it, and it's not intimidating, right? It's the cute, Raggedy Ann doll that's attacking people. Whereas this thing, if you saw it sitting in the room, you'd be like, who put this haunted monster in here? Like 100 people would walk in there and have a card, and you could take a poll, and every single one of them would be like, that's the haunted doll. It's painfully obvious that that's the haunted doll. Painfully obvious. Right? It's not spooky. Like the little kid in Pet Sematary, right? He's a little kid, but he's got a scalpel and he's killing people, right? That's something that's frightening, that gets in your nightmares, right? The Annabelle doll looks spooky, and it is. So then you're like, whoop-de-doo, right? It's porcelain. You know what I mean? Like,
people already have like an aversion to porcelain dolls.
I just don't get it. Like, it'd be much scarier if it was the Raggedy Ann doll. With its little stripy arms, and it's like grabbing you. But that's something that's intimidating, because it's not supposed to be. It subverts expectations, That's the whole idea. Whereas the Annabelle thing that they created is just a weird, filthy, broken thing, and you're like, ooh, look, it's scary. Like, okay. Let me go to the VHS section, horror section in the 90s. There's probably 1,000 movies with the same looking doll.
Silent.
Yeah, like, come on, man. Work a little harder.
Yeah. Well, we came up with like 20 spooky facts about the Annabelle the Creation movie.
Right, so we'd have something at least.
So that, because otherwise Bob will just go on about how horrible it is.
The facts aren't real either, so,
Well, and I really hated the Annabelle, the third one we watched. Was it Comes Home, I think?
Is that the one with the nurses?
No, that's the one where they have her in the house. And all of the babysitter and the kid parents go to town. Yeah. That's coming.
Right.
So yeah. So basically, number one, she was based on a real haunted doll, which we've already discussed.
That's what we were talking about. The Raggedy Ann doll is scarier looking than the...
Yeah. So this was directed by a horror veteran, David Sandberg, who also did Lights Out and has a history of turning short horror films into full-blown nightmares.
Yep.
Yeah.
We actually went to an exclusive premiere of Lights Out.
Oh, that's right. I had forgotten about that.
Yeah.
I don't think we've seen that movie since.
I watched it since then.
I can't even remember what it was about. That's the funny thing.
It was about that short where the guy sees the demon in the hallway and he turns the lamp on and then it's gone.
Oh, yeah, I remember
And then
that.
when he turns the lamp back off, it's closer.
That's
and
right.
And then he turns it on again, it's not there. And he turns it off and it's right in his face. Well, they made a whole movie
Wasn't
about
it something
that.
like in a basement or something like that? Or
It does. It goes through the whole house, and then he actually is out in the driveway with the car, and that I actually appreciated it. I thought it was really good.
God, I completely forgot about that movie.
The funny thing,
because didn't we get T-shirts or something?
Right. Well, at the premiere, the film company would give out awards based on your Instagram followers. And they didn't know that I have like 20-something thousand, at that time had like 20,000 followers on Instagram. So we won all of the stuff. So we've got T-shirts, and they had a little light switch that you flicked and it would light up, and the keychain, and the poster, and I actually gave some of this stuff away to other people. I was like, we don't have to keep playing this game. We're just give me the stuff and I'll hand it out to everybody else. But the movie, it was one of those ones where they had the night vision camera in the front, and then while we were watching the movie, they like filmed the jump scares, for the commercial and stuff. So it was a fun time. We didn't pay anything for it, so
I can't. We may have actually got those tickets through a paranormal group, if I remember. I think.
Yeah,
that's probably how. I was like, how would we have gotten? I used to go to there used to be some place where I would go and I could get like advanced screenings.
Yeah,
but you had to get there early, and
and it was a whole thing. You had to check in,
and sometimes the movie that came out, they ended up changing.
Right.
So you're like, huh, yeah.
So anyway, that's the other movie, and that movie was really good. I liked it.
I'll have to watch that again sometime. Maybe that's what I can pick when I'm flying down to Orlando. That'd be...
There you go.
I have a tendency, though, I don't watch anything. I have to be very careful because you never know who's sitting next to you on a plane. Like one time I made the mistake of watching, oh my goodness, was it Animal House? It was one of those. And I was like, sorry. Because I hadn't realized how...
Mind your own business, little kids.
How raunchy was.
Little kids are looking over your shoulder and watching your movie.
Yeah. Okay, we'll go back to this. Reel it back. The filming location was rumored to be haunted, that some of the cast and crew felt uneasy on set with strange noises, cold spots reported, especially in the doll maker's house. But
there you go.
I don't know how things could be haunted if it was just a random spot they picked to film.
Right.
It's not like Annabelle really came from there. Or there's
Yeah.
no... I mean,
Right.
maybe it's the history of the house, but once again... They said that the crosses on set flipped up themselves upside down in scenes, and nobody did it overnight. Or I guess it was done overnight without being touched.
And this... really...
Is this just something to add to the lore?
Crosses don't flip upside down. Right? The part where you attach the cross to the wall is in the top of it.
So it couldn't.
They don't flip upside down. But in these movies, they have crosses that are on motors that do flip upside down. So who knows?
You would have to find the very center to where it would...
Right. The crosses aren't... They're always attached at the very top of the cross. It doesn't flip upside down.
Yeah, I'd have to have it on some kind of thing.
So
it's physics!
The cross flipped upside down and just immediately cross that one off.
Yeah. Okay, number 5. They're saying that the orphanage where this was a real location. Was filmed at, and it was an abandoned location, adding to the eerie atmosphere. So maybe.
Right.
Orphanages back in the day were probably pretty horrible places.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah.
The actress playing Janice had real nightmares. That's subjective, right?
Yeah.
You might be from being terrorized on the set that caused her nightmares more.
Well, as I told you earlier, it said that the director liked to rely on authentic scares.
Yeah.
So the director would not always tell the actors in the scene that they were about to get scared. So they would have real reactions, which that would give me trauma.
Yeah, right.
It's like, don't jump out at me.
Yeah.
They said the demon was played by a real actor in makeup rather than using CGI.
Yeah.
Bashara also, the same one that played in the...
Yeah, he played the lipstick demon in the first one with the little thing.
Well, that's Insidious. That's
Insidious.
Yeah, that's the other series.
Oh.
Yeah.
You always forget because it's got the same guy in it.
Yeah, Patrick Wilson.
Right.
That man, he gets a lot of work in horror movies.
Yeah.
And he can sing.
There you go.
Okay, so they're saying the demon's name in this movie was Ram, which it was not spoken. The demon possessing Annabelle is named Ram, a lower level demon according to the lore that was created just for the franchise. So that was completely made up.
Yeah.
We didn't know.
I feel like that's made up too.
Yeah. Well, and this one says, number 9 says, Annabelle blinks. In several scenes, if you watch closely, the Annabelle doll appears to suddenly blink, an effect achieved practically not with CGI.
Yeah. The post-credit scene teases The Nun, which was our last movie right before this.
And actually is the next movie that we watched in the series, The Nun 2.
Yeah.
So it says that crew members refused to touch the doll, that they were unnerved by the doll's appearance, and they refused to carry or move it on set. And then, like I said, I go back. I read somewhere that they intentionally made the doll to look bizarre.
Yeah.
So, anyway, they said that the director's wife has a cameo. Lotta Lustin has a wife, and she's a frequent collaborator and appears in a brief role as one of the caretakers. Yep. Now, here's another one. Annabelle moved between takes. Actors have claimed the doll was sometimes found in a slightly different position than how it was left, even when no one touched it. But if they filmed this somewhere in California, where there's frequently earthquakes, that could happen.
There's 70 people in and out of that set all the time.
Yeah.
And the set they admitted was an old house that was abandoned.
Yeah.
So you got 60 people stomping around on a hardwood floor in a 100-year-old house. I'm sure the doll shifted around.
Shifted over.
Yeah.
It was filmed in secret, and it was filmed under the fake title Mary Kay to avoid media leaks and fan interference. I think they do that a lot, though, don't they?
Yeah,
With
movies, working titles, they call it.
So that you don't know what's going on or they don't get out. It is connected to all Conjuring films. It's tied, obviously, to the Annabelle, but it's also tied to the Conjuring timeline as well, and making it a vital piece of that universe.
Yeah.
Oh, David Sandberg, the director, used practical effects over CGI, which they've already talked to. The scares feel real because most were created with lighting, camera tricks, in-camera effects, and not computer. I think they kind of like said that.
Yeah. The doll was blessed before filming, so they wanted to have it where there wasn't a real demon in it. Like, go figure.
Do you think that something like that could really happen? Like the real Annabelle, do you think that a demon could possess a toy? Who was it who said that? We watched the preview last night for the new Conjuring movie.
Yeah, the new one's coming out.
And they were in the thing, and don't touch anything in the
Don't touch anything in this room. None of this stuff is a toy, even the toys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
I wish...
Because we have haunted artifacts.
Yes.
So...
Yes, yeah.
I have a couple things that have spirits attached to them.
Yes,
So-
and we love to thrift and go to antiquing.
Yeah.
And God knows what could be attached to some of the stuff that we've brought home without
Right.
even thinking of it. Because you have a radio, you said.
Yeah, my radio
Is an old Bakelite radio from like
Yeah.
the 50s, something like that.
Right.
50s.
I had a collection of them at one time because I liked radios that had the civil defense frequency on it. Because those were only made during World War II that they have that civil defense radio channel. So I had about 4 or 5 of them at one time, but over the years I sold them off, and I kept that one because that one has something attached to it. So it's in my collection of haunted stuff. Maybe I'll put it on the bookshelf.
That'd be cool, yeah. Eventually we will have a real bookshelf behind us. Until then, you have our Necronomicon. There we go, bing!
The Necronomicon.
Necronomicon. Okay, well, obviously it was inspired by real accounts of possession. The movie draws upon demonic activity that was collected by the Warrens.
Mm-hmm.
The demon hides in plain sight, which you've already mentioned, but in several frames, the demon can be seen lurking in the shadows or reflected in glass. Go back and freeze frame, it says.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, and Annabelle, they said the last thing was Annabelle was locked away between shoots. Each day, the prop department kept Annabelle doll in a locked and sealed case, just like the real one in the Warren Museum. Probably because people have sticky fingers,
Yeah.
and it could up and go
Or
missing.
they were taking selfies with it, and I imagine it's very expensive, and it has to match every shot. So if you have to go back and reshoot something in the beginning, and somebody's broken her little ear off or something while they're playing around, you know, it can get expensive.
I wonder how many of those they actually made for like a movie. I always wondered about that.
I don't know. There has to be multiple, you would think, because if there has to be the hero prop
Yes.
that no one handles, right? Then there's the working prop. There's probably 4 or 5 of those that, you know, the kids pass around, and then there's the stunt props that they throw down the stairs or throw, you know,
Throw at somebody like it's attacking
yeah,
you.
they and then they have parts of them that they use in other shots, you know, like they have an arm on the stick or some feet,
Oh, walking
you know,
feet.
yeah. So
Do we ever see Animal move? I can't remember.
I think it like turns and does stuff like that, or it like but it's always behind, like when the actor's looking at it, it's static, and then when they look away, then Annabelle turns her head. You know, it's always something like that. So, and that I imagine that has part of it too, because the Raggedy Ann doll is made out of like one piece of fabric. Its torso and head is, so it doesn't.
Oh yeah, it's all
it
it's
can't, like,
solid
emote,
body.
You know.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, I think that would work better. That it can't emote. You know what I mean? That it doesn't have real features. It just has like a triangle and some circles. You know what I mean? That it seems like that would be spookier. If anybody out there in Hollywood wants to be extra You want to be, kind of a douche. You should make a movie with the Raggedy Ann doll and call it something else.
We need to put out a
hilarious
poll. Annabelle or the real Raggedy Ann? Which one do you prefer?
I think something that's cute and not intimidating is more frightening as an evil artifact than something that looks weird and is
like
creepy
Gremlins?
looking. Yeah, like the Mogwai. They're not. You know what I mean? Like, what's a Mogwai going to do to you? You kick that little thing, We
don't kick the Mogwai.
But I'm just saying, like, it's not scary. It's just.
What's the scariest thing you've ever seen?
What do you mean?
I don't know. Is what ruined your childhood? Oh, we already are in agreement.
Yeah.
Salem's Lot.
Salem's Lot.
Ruined
Yeah.
our childhood.
I don't know why. I don't know who thought it was a good idea to let a 4-year-old kid watch Salem's Lot, but I did.
Oh my God. I ended up wrapped with that bedspread around my neck.
Yeah, it was.
Even today, it still gives me the creepers. Just thinking about it, hello, teacher.
Yeah.
And he was the one that was the brother or the friend or whatever. Jeffrey Lewis.
Yeah.
And Juliet Lewis's father.
Right.
But he was a good actor.
I don't know why. I don't know who let their kids watch that.
And it was a mini series of all things.
Right. That scene. To this day, I won't. I won't open the curtains at night. Because every time I expect to see that kid outside the curtains, I will not open the curtains at night. I will go to the door and look outside. You will never see me open the curtains because I know when I do, there's going to be a floating little kid in his pajamas out there. Let me in.
I scared the death out of my sister one time. We were really into a boy band back in the day, Backstreet Boys. And, if you got any of the little fan made, they'd have the head shot. And so I cut the head out and I put it in the window of her room. So when she opened the blinds, there was his face. She screamed. And so she decided to get me back. So she put it on the door. And then she scared herself again. She forgot she put it up there. Like it was peeking around the door.
I can see that.
Actually, looking back, though, Heather and I were always doing, I took her Kermit and attached it to the to the ceiling fan one time, so she walks in, he's flying around. Yeah. Siblings.
So how do we feel about this one?
Well,
You put up our scale.
we kind of went back and forth because he thought it was a 2, the graveyard grind, which is a slow creeping death there's some potential, but it's buried under the weight of missed opportunities. I thought it was a 4, which is nightmare fuel, takes you to the edge of terror, leaving a chill in your spine, dark and twisted in all the right ways. So we decided to meet in the middle.
Yeah.
We're going to go with a 3, which is blood curdling.
Yeah, the blood curdling.
Thrilling enough to make you look over your shoulder, but not quite enough to keep you at night. Solid, but not sinister.
Yep.
Blood curdling.
Blood curdling. The Annabelle Creations.
Yeah. We watched anything? We've been still watching Outer Banks, which is an interesting show.
Yeah. It's a disaster.
I don't think, have we watched any horror this week? I don't know if we have.
No, I started watching something the other day. What was it? I can't think. I started watching The Coffee Table. Everybody said that I had to watch The Coffee Table.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
I watched 40 minutes of it, and
he was done.
I was like, well, I'm going to finish it, because it hasn't gotten to, the actual horror part of it. It's just story, world building at this point. At, almost 40 minutes in, it's still world building, so,
We watched a weird short last night that was... what was it? Was The Knowing?
Oh, yeah, The Knowing.
I'm not sure where did we watch that on.
It was on...
was it on YouTube? Or
YouTube, yeah.
And it was short. I'm glad we didn't invest more in it.
Yeah.
But it had a good idea.
Yeah.
But they took it into a kind of a almost preachy area.
Yeah, it turned into a lecture towards the end. And then it, instead of I'm on board for a horror movie that has a lecture in it. You know what I mean? Like Candyman has that kind of thing, and I'm if it's under, you know what I mean? Like we talked about
an undertone,
Sinners, right? Sinners had all the opportunity to give you a full-blown lecture and didn't do it at all, right? This was the polar opposite of that.
Yeah.
This had no reason to give you a lecture.
Yeah, the concept itself was just really cool. Like, she was making stained glass, and she cut her finger on it, and I guess she bled.
Yeah, and then, like, she held up the pane of glass,
which is like,
and then could see, like, a shadow in the yard of, like, a person. And then when she pulled it down, it wasn't there. And that's kind of a cool, back and forth thing that they do. It's a modern trope and stuff, but it paid off in this because it's just one actor.
It was enough to kind of capture our interest, be like, oh, well, that's kind of different.
Right. And then it goes on with like this aunt that lives down the street, and then abortion. It's an allegory about abortion. You know how I know? Because they clubbed me over the head with it for about 5 minutes straight.
Yeah.
She had an abortion and regretted it. It was an abortion, and she had an abortion, and here's my coat hanger. You're like, was there...
Yeah, do I need to see a bloody coat hanger?
Were we watching a horror movie? And what happened to the whole end
It's like they were going like off in direction, and they were like, hey, we're gonna make it a complete...
And then my favorite part of it gets to like where they're going to reveal what the demon shape thing is. Nope. Credits. Yeah. She's like, here's the bloody coat hanger in the car seat, and then it's over.
Yeah.
Just nothing else after that. It's just like the camera ran out of film. Mm-hmm. And then it has like these credits where they're like trying to show like stained glass and do like this thing, and you're like, what? Didn't the movie poster for that have like a whole bunch of those like South by Southwest like award things on it? Like the whole movie poster was covered with those awards. I would love, if anybody knows, invite me to one of these things, because these people's dreams are going to be shattered if they make us sit in a theater and watch whatever that thing was. You're like, oh man, what do you think of that movie? Like, well, the first half of it was really good.
Make it horror.
Had lots of character development, had a good story, had moody lighting, which I like. It had some good sets. And then the last half of it was absolute garbage. It was absolute garbage. Like, if you're going to shoehorn a lecture into a horror movie, it has to be in undertones and allegory. You can't just bludgeon someone over the head.
It's just like a hint that will make you think.
Right.
But at the same point, you're like, oh.
Because, like, the couple has, like, infertility issues, and she was taking injections to get pregnant. And then when she got pregnant, she lost the baby. And then...
then the husband asked, well, we can try again. And she's like, it's my body.
Yeah.
And I'm like...
And, like, out of nowhere.
Like,
you're
she
like...
was very aggro as...
Yeah, it was so weird. She's like, it's my body. Like...
Okay.
What? Who the hell are you talking to with this? That's your husband, idiot. Like, what? You were just doing fertility treatments for, like, 6 months. Like, shut up with that.
Okay, let's reel it back.
Who wrote that? Like, that's just terrible.
You know, I do a lot of, one of my hobbies right now is making sewing things, and I like to try to do cosplay. I did like my whole outfit for the Viking. And I think about this, every project, I somehow bleed on it. Like, it's not a real project unless I stab my finger with a needle or cut. I cut like right between my web and my fingers today.
Yeah.
Like, do you remember that short story, The Mangler, by Stephen King?
Yeah.
The big machine and how it got blood and then it came to life. That's what I think about. Like, my sewing machine is one day going to open up jaws and eat me. These are the kind of things I think about.
The Mangler. What do they have? What's his name?
They made a movie out of it.
Stephen Dorff. Was that guy?
I can't remember.
I don't remember either.
It was a short story back in the day.
It was really good.
Yeah.
I liked it. The Night Shift was.
Oh, yeah, the Night Shift collection. That's what it was from. Yeah, and the guy ends up going through, and oh my God. And it's like a big steam press.
It's a cotton gin.
Oh, is it cotton gin?
Yeah.
I was thinking that was the one with the rats.
I think it is, isn't it?
No, I'm thinking the Mangler was a big, it folded sheets or something like that.
Oh.
Yeah, there is.
Maybe I was thinking something else.
But yeah, there is one with a cotton gin too, I think.
I thought that was.
Oh, maybe that's what they made the movie into. Yeah. Maybe that's why I'm confused. But I've read a lot of Stephen King, and I've reread a lot of Stephen King. So.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's reel it back.
Anyway,
So we're gonna go
Annabelle.
with the creation, blood curdling.
Yeah, blood curdling.
Boom. No.
There you go. You can watch it. I would watch it because it kind of.
You gotta watch it if you like the Conjuring universe.
You don't really need to though, because the movie in the Conjuring verse right after this tells the backstory to it anyway.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like the couple, he buys her the doll for her collection. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where it comes from. And then you're like, this movie's really needless. It was kind of an insert into it because it didn't really need to exist. The origin of Annabelle is in the Annabelle movie.
Yeah.
So it kind of, you know what I mean? But they tell it with allegory in that one and backstories, whereas in this one it's explicit. So that's where it is. I mean, like I say, it doesn't need to be in your list of the Conjuring verse.
I've never been a big fan. I was thinking about this, sitting here thinking, like, I am not a big fan of movies where they use dolls. And I'm going to say something that probably a lot of people are going to hate, but I hate the Chucky movies. I can't stand any of them. The first one, okay, but after that, forget about it.
I love the first
Throw
one.
that doll into the trash.
Yeah.
I cannot. He actually met the little kid?
Yeah, the little kid.
Little kid from the first one. And ironically enough, I met the little kid from Pet Sematary.
I felt we went to a toy show here locally in St. Louis, and we were walking by like where they have like the artists and stuff, and there was nobody there, and I was like, that's the kid from the Child's Play movie. And when we walked by, the sign was on the side, and I was like, it is the kid from the, and he's like, hi, how you guys doing? And I'm like,
he got an autograph.
I got his autograph.
And I think he took a photo.
Yeah, we talked to him for a while. He was really cool.
Yeah.
And I thought, man, how sad is that? Because like usually when there's an event here in St. Louis, they have all of the talent like in cages locked away. And you can't even have your phone in your hand near them or somebody's going to jump on your back.
That they have here.
How dare you take a picture of Batman? Like, what? I'm checking the email, bro. Calm your little self down, okay? I can have my phone out and not be taking a picture.
Well, and on my thing, we were at the Roswell UFO Festival, and I saw the little kid who plays Gage.
It wasn't even at a thing.
Miko Hughes. Well, he was in the TV show Roswell.
No, I mean he wasn't. It wasn't even. He was out.
He was out walking down the street.
Yeah, he wasn't even in
I'm like,
anything.
And I'm tracking. And I had my hair done in crazy UFO
crazy.
hair, and it was like standing up. And I'm chasing him down the street, and he went to get a smoothie. He probably thought, and I'm like, I've loved you since you were little kid.
Some like his girlfriend or wife or whatever was like some model.
I'm sure.
She's like, hey, there's people running after you. And he turned around like, what?
He was nice, and he let me get a picture and everything. That's what you should do. Helke, you put up your picture with the little Chucky, the guy
I don't know if I still have it.
Oh, I bet you we still have it somewhere.
And
I'll give you my Miko Hughes.
I saw a picture of me and Lou Ferrigno.
We met the Hulk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Comic-Con's great for that stuff. I had a whole conversation with Luke Perry. He was just sitting at a table by himself. It was really sad, actually. And Andrew McCarthy. Yeah, he's a travel writer now. He's from the Brat Pack, for those who don't know. Yeah, Blaine from Pretty in Pink. Yeah. Okay, we're reeling it back.
That's it.
It's time to end.
It's over.
And we'll see you next time on
The Midnight Matinee.
Here's Todd. Todd. More Todd.
You've been watching The Midnight Matinee, brought to you by the Veritas Project. So when the clock strikes 12, grab your tickets for the next episode of The Midnight Matinee.